Alright, not much has happened today. Just a homework. Oh, well, no, I actually did pass the last quiz. So long as I pass all the objectives and DFQ, I'm done. No exam, no final, which is exciting. And then I also started troubleshooting, trying to make the t-shirts for our project.
Oopsie. Hi, Jade.
Hey.
Jade, he grabbed my hands on purpose. I don't think it was on purpose.
Are the cupcakes for anyone in particular? I always run. From what?
Run versus foxes.
From what?
Run versus foxes.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you are bending your... Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
You know, they call that way.
Where you going?
Sometimes faster way. Okay, that was not fun. I was in there trying to troubleshoot the process for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Not a good use of my time, but I already had like settings set up and stuff, so I was not wanting to leave. I was going to get it done then. It's 11:45 now. Still have a presentation with David, and then I was going to edit the video, but maybe I do that tomorrow afternoon. I'm not sure. Last week's video, I don't know, but I've got them right now, and then I've got a couple just scraps that maybe could work. I don't know. I'm tired. All right, this is our midnight presentation practice for tomorrow of our physics project. This is probably going to be a 15-minute video because it's supposed to be 12 to 15 minutes long. I guess we'll see. We'll see. We should start now. So, yeah, we're 20 seconds in.
Alright, so for our physics project, we decided to go with the trebuchet.
I'm Zaid Fakadol.
Oh, yeah, I'm David Peterson, if you don't know me. Yeah.
If you don't know what a trebuchet is, here is a medieval recreation that some guys did to just play it. So, yeah, I'm going to actually just let you guys watch the video before I explain what happens.
I don't know if we should have the whole video.
It's just until there. It automatically does it all.
Okay.
And as you can see here, this is the model of our trebuchet.
Right here.
So, how a trebuchet works is you have a counterweight that rotates around, and unlike a catapult that has a fixed arm, there is a moving sling that shoots out and accelerates at a rapid pace, launching a projectile, ideally at a 45-degree angle, to go destroy the castle. We were aiming to have a distance optimization, get the furthest distance with the least amount of weight, I guess, per se, because, well, generally when we add more weight, you would think that might launch it further, but we found out that that is not the case. But in order to find the optimal distance, we were alternating our counterweight mass, our projectile mass, and the release nail angle, as you can see here. Wait, that's not.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to do that. So
Oh, I just went into them. I just went from here to here. Okay.
I can introduce it.
Let's just start over. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good time. Alright, what's up? I'm David Peterson,
I'm Zaid Fakandal.
and this is our physics project, a trebuchet.
If you don't know what a trebuchet is, we're playing a short video of a medieval recreation that some guys did. As you can see, it's released, projectile is being swung around as the counterweight is dropped at a certain angle, it's released, and the projectile is launched a far distance, further than a catapult could, say, launch because of the stream accelerating at a more rapid pace than the actual arm.
Yeah, so you've probably heard of a catapult before. This is a trebuchet, so really the main difference is the sling. So normally a catapult has a little cup that holds and throws a projectile, while this is a sling that swings around and gains more angular momentum. For our project, we decided to go with distance optimization. So this would be making the projectile go as far as possible, and this would include adjusting certain variables so that it could work better. These variables include counterweight mass, so that's the drop mass, the main weight that makes the sling work the way it does, and trebuchet. And then we have the projectile mass, which is the little weights that we're launching. And then we also have the release nail angle. So this is important because really you want a 45-degree angle for the optimal distance formula. But yeah.
The 45-degree angle being the launch of the projectile, not of the
not
nail.
the angle.
The nail is something that we had to find out on our own through experimental testing. I'm going to show you a slow motion of our model. This was our best take. We
see as the counterweight lifts off, projectile is at a perfect 45-degree angle. This was our candy projectile. We had a candy projectile and a plastic projectile we have in our labs.
Alright, so let's start off with some of the derivations. So, for inertia, which is pretty important in this trebuchet,
Explain why we need it by inertia, yeah.
inertia is pretty helpful in finding the kinetic energy because we use certain equations that required inertia to be used. Yeah, so it's both. Yeah, so this would be used to calculate both momentum, angular momentum, as well as our kinetic energy theoretical values. So we first started off with the arm. So we took the formula for the inertia of like a long rectangle piece, and then we also had the mass away from rotation because it's not in the middle of the arm. So we took that, and then for inertia of the projectile, it's pretty much a sphere. We actually averaged out the inertia of the projectile because there's a varying distance between the sphere and the angle of rotation. So as you can see at the beginning, it's closest to the angle of rotation, and as it launches, it's much further out. So we took the average of the two, just to keep it simple.
This was something that we had to do in order to not do multi-derivative partial differential equations. And had, as such, there is a large percent error in this, but this was the only way we were able to accommodate for this.
Yep, and we have the 2/5 for because it's a solid sphere. And then also for our first and second counterweight, we did the same thing. It's pretty simple. We used.
Spend much more time
Yeah,
on this.
okay. And then counterweight 3, we used a different weight shape, so we adjusted for that.
Okay, how we were talked about the previous slide about the difference, how we had to take an average for our inertia between our starting and final values. The percent difference for the projectile for that was negative 55%, and then for the counterweight, surprisingly, was actually negative 90%. And this is a significant change. This does produce error in our data and accommodates for our percent errors in our for later on calculations, but it's still an important thing to note, as this was an assumption of sorts that we had to take.
Alright, so.
I think I just talked over it. Oh no, you're right. It is, yeah.
Okay, so this is the application that we use to get all our data from. So it's just a tracker. And what we could do is we could identify where a certain our projectile was, and then as frame by frame we could click on it and track the motion of this projectile and also the arm. So you can see these red marks right here, so we're tracking, and this program can calculate the speed and angle which we needed, as well as the launch height after calibration. So we had to do this for each trial. The first half, calculating trajectory, tangential velocity, we used the arm, so you can see this blue part. So we tracked the inertia of the arm and we calculated the change in it. And then also you can see where we calculated the projectile speed, velocity, and angle.
I don't think we need to also spend as much time on that. Yeah, I was just there like, hey, we use this program. Okay, so there's two steps that we were taking it into approaching estimating our exit velocity of a projectile. We started actually with conservation of energy, which we're going to show you now. But later on, you'll see we realized that the percent error for that is extremely high, and we realized momentum would be more accurate in interpreting and estimating our exit velocity. But for conservation of energy, we related the potential energy of the counterweight at the start position to the final rotation of the projectile, and then related that from rotational velocity to tangential velocity. And you can see we have a sample calculation there to the right.
Alright, so our percent error for tangential velocity for conservation of energy. So we actually use two different methods. I should clarify this. We use conservation of momentum and conservation of
I
energy.
just said that.
Okay. And so our average error for conservation of energy was actually much higher. And
I just. You're just repeating.
just
Bert.
to clarify.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just really tired.
I know. I am too. Alright, so this is with our 3-degree nail angle, and you can see our percentage error is actually pretty high. So it starts off with just under 100%, and it goes all the way up to like 238%. So this is pretty high, so it's kind of hard to count for anything. So that's why we use a different method of calculating percent error.
Counterweights, that's what it was. That's right there. Alright, here's the derivation for when we switch to momentum, as we realize that 200% error is not going to cut it. So with conservation of momentum, how we formulated our formulas in order to estimate our exit velocity was by finding the inertia of the system as a whole and the inertia of the system with just the arm, using all the data values from that previous really big slide that you saw before. This would be much more complicated if we took every individual value. But and then also the inertia of just the projectile by itself, distance away from the rotation point. And by doing such and relating it to their angular rotation, angular velocity, we're able to get a estimated exit velocity, multiplied it by r in order to get it as in a tangential form.
Alright, and as you can see, our percentage error for conservation of momentum is much lower. So it's kind of interesting that our second counterweight is much higher than our first two, first one and third one. This could be just due to uneven trials, because it's kind of hard to get an exact trial with the trebuchet, as there's many factors that go on with launching the projectile, which we'll get into like the last slide or so.
Alright, so now for our actual experimental data relating to the exit tangential velocity, as we're wrapping up this section of our presentation, is that as you can see on the right here, this is our average percent error comparing conservation of momentum to that of conservation of energy, and proving that yes, conservation of momentum is far more accurate in our data for the trebuchet. On the left here are some of the values of the average angular, average tangential velocity of the projectile being released, depending on variables of counterweight, nail angle, and projectile mass.
And you can see here, just by looking at it, there's a kind of a trend where it goes low, medium, high, and then changes color. So these are the change in counterweights that you can see. The smallest one being the lightest counterweight. So you can see the effect that that has on the tangential velocity of the projectile. So derivations for distance, we pulled out some of our old kinetic formulas. So we started out with this formula and
Solved for t.
for this, yeah. So we took
Just took this formula in terms of the x component, in terms of the y component, solved for t, and plugged it into the x component in order to get our formula.
okay, so yeah. So calculated the velocity for the y direction, and then used that to calculate how much time it took for the projectile to fall, and then we also took the initial velocity in the x direction and the initial velocity, the velocity in the x direction, yeah. And then used our time variable that we got in the previous equation to get our distance.
It would just be our second kinematics equation in terms of y. So kinematics equation turns it back. now for our final experimental values to show you. As you can see, our greatest distance was indeed with our with our largest counterweight, less mass projectile with candy, and negative 30-degree nail angle. These important thing is our first half of the trials had a 30-degree angle up forward, but then when we switched back, it was negative 30-degree angle. So as you increase the weight, if you increase the weight without changing the nail angle, then the ball gets thrown straight down. And you can see that where in these cases right here, where we increase the weight, actually no, listen, candy.
This is candy and
Well, it goes
so
candy, but I know it would be like this one here. I'll just put it out right there. As in like a case like right here where you might increase the counterweight, but without changing the nail angle, your projectile is just launched straight to the ground rather than upwards right there. And our percent error was the largest in our 13 through 24 trials. This being with a KB projectile and a normal 30-degree angle, and that was just accommodating for some of the errors we'll get into next.
all right. So
This one we didn't focus on too much.
okay.
This is just
We just kind of put together a graph just so you can see the distance compared to like counterweight ratio. So as you can see, with a higher counterweight ratio, it's typically
the reason to do this is just to be like, if someone was actually looking, trying to build one of the trebuchets in medieval times, but like the material cost for a counterweight is a big factor, then you would want to put all your money into the counterweight. You would want the best ratio of distance to counterweight.
all right. So this is just kind of
This
like
is
our
me.
final fun video.
No. And this was our 27th attempt at the very end for actually hitting the target. That's
It's pretty satisfying. Alright, so in conclusion, our best configuration was our candy projectile, the lighter mass, paired with our third counterweight, which is our heavier one, and our nail angle of negative 30 degrees. So this resulted us in almost a perfect 45-degree release angle, which is perfect for max distance. It resulted in about 0.7 meter release height, as well as a 14.67 meter per second velocity. Max velocity, which is pretty fast. And our final distance for this trial was 73 feet, which is kind of amazing.
one and a tenth the size of a bowling lane. Thanks for listening. We need an air slide.
Alright, about to start my interview in 20 minutes. I woke up normal time around 8 and I'm so tired. I might end up just taking a nap after our physics presentation. But anyway, I just spent like an hour, 15 minutes, maybe just an hour, researching more about the company, thinking of some stuff I might talk about. And then I had like 15 minutes where I'm just tired, so I just laid in bed and tried to take a quick nap. I don't think I actually fell asleep. If it was a half an hour to 45 minutes, I definitely could have fallen asleep, but yeah, now I have to get out of bed and get dressed and tie a tie. Alright, internship just went really well actually. The hour and a half, 2 hours roughly. First hour I talked with like this medical engineering now manager person who was really nice. I asked her a couple questions on like the ethics on like installing the spiration valves in humans and like the process and the decades it takes to like actually get that approved to be commercially sold. And she liked my like talking about my engine and my laundry device and work experience and all that stuff. That was cool. And then the next hour I spoke with a machinist and a manufacturing engineer, and that was really cool because the machinist actually was really interested in my engine and was actually asking me like questions, or like when I spliced up my engine, did I consider using O-rings or gauges or something? And then I spoke about that more, and then he asked me about like how I modeled it, the torque. Was I using like differential equations or Bernoulli's equation? And I wasn't, but I was able to talk to him about like what I related and stuff. And that was cool. And I talked about like my learning experience at my previous job and stuff. And then I ended talking with David again, answering any other questions I have. Learned more about the previous product that the other intern made, because this is now just a singular internship for one person that these 8 or so engineers are going to pour their like time and thoughts and effort into creating like these this stuff. And it was a really, it's kind of intense. Like the previous guy made a quieter and faster and smaller imprint of a dryer to dry off medical equipment and tools that just were sterilized in like steaming hot water, and dry them off so that they can be used sooner. And like, that's really cool. Of course he had all these people helping him, but at the same time, and there was a previous thing he was trying to improve, but it's still somewhat like that's exactly what like junior senior year is doing. And with that amount of time, because this is an 8 to 5 job, to do it in 3 months, while juniors and seniors have the year, but they're not working as hard with it. But it's still like kind of insane, the position. Even if I don't get it this year, which I'm kind of hoping. I don't know if they select me and I'm their best candidate, then I'll for sure accept it. But even if I'm not, I'm happy with how things turn out, and then being able to work at the machine shop. But and then I could apply it to it every other year, because they're going to continue doing it every year. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with how that went. Now I'm gonna go eat, work on practice physics presentation with David, go present that, and then the rest of the time, just do other stuff, maybe take a nap. Things are looking good. Alright, getting to bed at 11 tonight, because I passed my projects and all my quizzes in math, so I'm actually done with differential equations. But did some last things for the MCD, and I'm going to see how things turn out for it. If I'm being honest, it's not been fun working on this project at all because, well, I really just tried to. I didn't want to take over the project. I wanted each person to have an equal opportunity to work on stuff, but when they come back with something, I offer some advice or some stuff I think that could change to go better, but it's good enough, quote unquote. That's somewhat frustrating. And when there's an end product, a sheet metal end product that looks alright but not great, and then there's literally the 3D printed part I've thrown together over the weekend and a couple hours over the week that looks a lot better. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. The project wasn't that important to me, and there's not anyone important I'm trying to show it off to, so presentations Thursday will just be relaxed and trying to make the most of it, trying to make it fun. Alright, good night. Well, today's been an interesting day. Slept in a bit. Then worked on my code a bit, then went to physics. Then took an hour nap. Then went to prototype lab. Then went to lunch, came back here, had an interview with a company I forgot I applied to, but it was actually a fairly decent position. Wasn't prepared for the interview and didn't do that well on selling myself because I don't know, it just didn't seem as interesting, but then I went to choir, came back, saw the poster that they finished for the product, and I've been working on code since. I'm tired. Hello, this is Zaid, and this is a quick demonstration. Hello, this is Zaid, and this is a quick demonstration of It's a Wash, a laundry optimization device product, version 2. I can start the washer, or not, you know, if something is not working because I'm doing a video, that's also not surprising. Hello, this is Zaid Fackenthal, and this is a quick demonstration of our It's a Wash, a laundry optimization device product version 2. I could start a washer and I could start a dryer. The cord here is short just for demonstration purposes. The start and stop buttons or reset buttons will be mounted on the washer itself with the piezo's mounted underneath the washer for detection of vibrations. Every 20 seconds or so, the cue is shown, which can be increased on the It's a Wash, the main box that will be put on bulletin boards, on dressers, anywhere that is easy to see for the dorm or apartment building. I could always reset the washer or dryer by holding down a button for 3 seconds.
Zay, can you tilt this the other side?
This way? Oh, that works. Just did some heart surgery, but she's working. We just can't move her
At all?
at all.
We should bring these. Even though they're
Yes, yeah.
I don't think it's
Oh, that was good. I had to zoom up on everything. I just was recording and then. Alright, today's been a really weird day. Started getting our MCD project all nice and dandy. One LED kept flickering on and off, but when we ended up doing our presentation, which went well, it stayed on. It was kind of funny because it literally would just flash on and off randomly. Then came back and my butt was really hurting. I literally took a off and on, maybe a total hour and 45-minute nap, just laying in bed and then doing a physics problem, then coming back and falling back asleep and trying to sleep through the pain. Thankfully now it's better. Finished the portfolio upload for my version of the version 2 of the wash product. And also last night I did some fun Photoshop, which I'm not going to show you yet, but it's fun. I just wanted a project to work on for a bit. So yeah, might watch a movie. Moon Knight for a bit, and then we have D&D tonight. Contributed in the prototype lab during the shift. Alright, today's been a pretty funky day. Didn't get much sleep last night, not by choice. Well, actually no, first off, D&D was fun last night. They had some fun interactions where they killed some innocent people. And then they went and traded this. Went on espionage to get on this pirate ship and stuff, and yeah, but I didn't sleep very well just because of my butt. But I slept in till before class, or not before class. I couldn't, but then went to physics, came back here, slept an hour, went to prototype lab, came back, slept 2 hours, then went to choir, and then went to the engineering expo. And now I'm back, and I think the plan is to chill here probably for a bit, go eat dinner, come back, do physics, and then either finish up the Photoshop if I get the image, or start working on a new project for this week. Because other than studying for physics, I've got nothing else. Alright, today's been, well, again, a guest start last night. Couldn't fall asleep, so watched Catch Me If You Can. Then went and slept in till like 10:30, got all dressed and stuff, but then laid back in bed and slept until 12:30. Then I did physics. Had a couple snacks instead of going to lunch. Then started brainstorming for a new little project. I'm still waiting for a picture of me swing dancing to use for for my Photoshop. And I just went to dinner, getting ready for swing dance, and then there also is EHS games tonight.
Hi. How's it going?
Wow.
Very impressive.
I was trying to cue you without saying your name, Caswell.
Some good ones. I see you've been in touch with some people that I know. This is impressive.
Oh, dude, these are some classics.
Nice.
You only got a week to have them up now.
It's bad timing.
That was really good.
Eating the
No! and then
It was awful.
And then I was just like, hey, Patrick,
Like,
trying to cue him like, guys, get out.
Damn it!
You missed Davey's face. Davey's outside, and then he turns towards him and he goes.
Pretty good.
No! Not again!
Patrick, you should probably check the bathroom.
Oh no. I literally gave Max like half these pictures.
I know. Max gave them to me.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
Welcome back.
Oh. I have blonde hair in this one.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, oh, he dyed his hair too.
You look
Blonde hair in a lot of them. Max gave me some real gems.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Quality.
You got to see his reaction.
I did, yeah, I gotta see it live. No, that's crazy timing. That's so unfortunate.
I wish I was faster on my feet.
They really got you.
Yeah, they really got me.
I tried to call you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
My phone's charging
Dang
right
it.
now. Wait, I saw some people get back from track. I'm like, oh, I wonder if Patrick's
Mao
getting back
texted
soon.
me
And
that
then, and
he was in the
that's like,
lobby.
I was like, oh, and I didn't see the room, and then he comes.
It was so. I like look back real quick. I'm like, all right, let's go real quick, and yeah.
That's the best one. I really think you should go to the bathroom.
Dude, I will in like 5 seconds. You put something on this one. Oh, this one's so good too.
That one's everywhere.
I literally.
Wait, close the door real quick. This door. This door. Okay, you saw those ones?
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You might be finding them for a while.
Oh, nice. This is a classic.
We're bonded.
Nice. It's a picture of the robe in the robe.
Wait, what?
We put some in this robe.
That's so ridiculous. Do you feel right now?
Great.
Do you feel?
Oh, you got that one! That was impossible.
I don't know where that one came
This was
from.
completely unintentional, I swear.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Dude, my mom took that picture and she pointed it out to me afterwards. That's funny. Just look at that picture.
Oh.
Oh, I get it.
This one.
Ass.
It was an accident.
Okay, Patrick.
My name is right above the A.
Sure. No, sure.
All right, bathroom time.
Just let him go. Just let him do
Just
it.
let him go.
Just let him.
You experience it all the time.
I'm interested in.
Go to the fourth stall.
I'm interested in.
Stall. It was a bad.
What's on the fourth stall?
Probably more pictures of him.
They already planned that out.
Oh, every stall. I don't know actually what's on the fourth stall that's different though.
It's different on every stall.
It is?
On the inside. You get a different experience.
I thought it was the JAMA one every time. Yeah, apparently every stall's different.
Yeah, they are.
It's so like intimidating. Just
I like this
I'm
one.
about to like go pee. It's like, oh.
Hello. It's me.
And they're just looking down.
This one's the fancy one, right there. That's like you're taking a classy poop.
Oh baby. Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Also the classy one.
You never have to take a poo alone. Oh, is this one the same?
Yeah.
That's the one that Caswell licked.
Alright, I'm outside my room, but I just got back from EHS and had the last EHS games. We had a little party and then we went and played freeze tag, which was fun, and then we did 2 games of Mafia, which are my favorite. The first game, I had a high suspicion of who it was just from the start, just the way they were acting and the fact that they were new, so there was a higher chance Caswell would have chosen him for Mafia, Nathan. So I was walking with him and I took him aside. I'm like, hey, your hands are in your pockets. That's going to make it hard to kill. I could be a good alibi if you want to work together. And then I walked with him in a stairwell and he just instantly killed me. And then someone saw it. Oh, someone saw us going to the stairwell, and then he ran up and actually chased someone across the walkway, and everyone saw it, and it was pretty funny. So that game quickly ended, and then for the second game it was me and Gio. However, for the first round, I didn't kill anyone. I was just getting back at Nathan and chasing him around and acting suspicious and being funny and stuff. And then Gio only got 1 kill actually during that time, and someone saw it, so he was out, and it was me left with the 10 other people, not including me. So we were just wandering around, and 3 people actually had this really smart idea where they had this triangular pinpoint thing where 2 people were across the hallway and then 1 person was on the stairs, and if one died, the other person would see it, and yet they had this whole network. So I asked if I could join, and I said, and they said I could go up to the 3rd floor. So as I was heading up to the 3rd floor, there was this group of 3 people, and they were about to get in the elevator. I'm like, hold on a second, come look over here. We actually have a system that's really good. I'm gonna be a triangulate, and they were kind of confused what I was talking about. I'm like, just come look. There's these people down here, and as soon as we were about to round the corner, I killed all 3 of them. and they kind of screamed and stuff, but no one really heard, thankfully. And then I kind of, because I thought people, then one person was coming up to check, one of the people that was on the triangular position. So I waited till they were like just about to get up the stairs where they could see it. Then I just sprinted down and killed them. And then one other person saw, but they weren't sure if I actually like killed them quickly because they hadn't fallen yet, because there's a 10-second cooldown. So I sprinted up, they killed Julia, and I looked back and Nathan was climbing. So I jumped up and killed him, and then one other person came and I killed him. But then two people from the triangular thing that came over to check, and they saw I did it. So then we were heading down. So there was only 4 people left, not including me. And then obviously there were the 2 of them put the pressure on me, which I was actually kind of glad they both did that, because then when I'm like, hey, there's 5 of us, 7 people died. I mean, compliments to me that you guys think it might be me, that there's 7 people died that I killed all on my own, but that's not the case. There's 2 people left. You guess me and you lose, because it's these 2 people who are putting the pressure on me. And we kind of went back and forth, and I made up a story about where I was at, and they talked about the triangular thing. I'm like, yeah, no, I was a part of that. I was up on this part here, and they went to go check on something. I stayed where I was at looking around, and then I heard the skirmish, and I went down in the and then they called Jelly Donut when they saw me coming. And thankfully the 2 other people who weren't a part of it weren't entirely sure. They didn't think it was me. I was thinking there was they 2. And then I'm like, you can't vote for me because then it's 2 people left, 2 and 2, it's a tie. But last minute they realized that they might as well take the gamble on me, which is smart on them, and vote for me out, and then have the chance of losing to the 2v2, because otherwise, if there were 2 people left, then they just kill 1 person. So I lost, but it was still really cool, and people were like, wait, no, it actually was you? You killed that many people by yourself? And I was like, yeah, I did. It was really cool. I like Mafia. I actually was really calm this time. Last other times I get like heart beating fast and stuff, but I just was like, this is just a casual game. I'm gonna mess around, I'm gonna act suspicious like I usually do, and if there's ever people grouped around, I'm just gonna go for it and then continue running around. And it worked. Just if I was the mob boss, or if my partner wasn't killed as early on, then we totally would have won. It was a fun game. But it's 2:35 right now. I have church. I wake up at 8:30, so 6 hours of sleep. Nothing I'm not used to because of my butt, but my butt is feeling better right now. But time to go to bed. I don't know. I'm relaxed and I'm happy right now. I'm not stressed about physics. I have a little fun project I'm working on. I'm still waiting for the Sweet Dance pictures to work on the Photoshop thing, but yeah, other than that, I'm happy. I don't know. I don't know who's watching this. But I know my parents are. Hi Mom, hi Dad. For anyone else out there, hello. It's fun talking to this video. Maybe it's hello me however many years later. Is it weird to say I love you? I don't know. I don't know. It feels kind of this weird attachment thing to talking to you guys and like telling you my story and being all excited, and I don't know. Maybe there's some stranger watching this that has no idea who I is, and I just said I love you to them, and it's kind of weird.
yeah, I don't get many views, so thankfully, I mean, it's only people that I know. No, people are coming up. I'm gonna go to bed. Goodbye. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Okay, I'm gonna end on 8 minutes. Long talk. I gotta go. I need to go. Why do I want to keep recording?
Really nice day out today. I didn't do it because I was late from. They did it while I was in church, but between all those trees, like a ton of people from Edwards had hammocks out, and we're studying and reading and just hanging out. Yeah, but it's pretty nice. Church was fun. Went to, going ahead to volleyball right now, but when I got back, I took another nap and then went to physics. And I did physics and then came back.
And you know what? I think it wasn't really my fault, because you know what? When I was driving, I realized I was going to crash. I said, you know, Jesus, take the wheel. Took my hands off the wheel, so it was in Jesus' hands. But he must have misheard me, because he only took 6 of those little kids. So